Have you ever been asked to stand up and speak in front of people? Now, this could be an impromptu exercise, meaning probably you were not prepared for it, or maybe you planned a presentation to give to your friends, colleagues, or families. Now, if there is some fear which starts to build up, it's normal. Remember, we are only human beings. In fact, a recent study suggests that 75% of people experience some level of fear when speaking, primarily in public. So, probably we are all within that 75% group. However, there are some ways and means to tackle the fear of public speaking and coming out confident during the exercise. In fact, what gets us worried during public speaking is probably the fear of what people might think about us, probably the way we are dressed, or whether we are speaking in a way that is acceptable to the audience. It is normal to have those kind of fears, but there are ways and means to improve your public speaking or your oral skills. By that, I mean if you're having a conversation, this could be one-to-one or to a group of people. So let's tackle these in the following slides. So the key question is, how do I enhance my verbal communication skills? Well, first things first, try to think before you speak. Because when you think, you will try to articulate as well when you are speaking. So thinking is a key process. Of course, you don't want to take a long time to think, especially if you're doing a presentation. You should be clear and concise. Now, if you're not used to very difficult vocabulary, do not try to use words that maybe you're not familiar with, because one, probably you will mess up while pronouncing those words, and number two, it will not sit in well with the audience. You might leave the audience confused. So here are two tips for you. Number one, think before you speak. Number two, be clear and concise. What are other ways that you can enhance your verbal communication skills? Well, think about the audience that you're presenting with. Surely, if you are presenting with a group of high school students, your language or your communication skills would be different to a corporate settings. So consider your audience. Perform some kind of research on who is attending your presentation. Secondly, avoid jargons and confusing phrases, especially if the audience is not familiar with, let's say, a financial person making a finance presentation. So make sure you avoid jargons and confusing phrases, or if you do use them, you should try to explain what they mean. The next aspect you need to work on is confidence. Now, you need to draw a fine line between what is confidence and what is arrogance. So you need to speak with confidence, not arrogance, because the moment you speak with arrogance, it's going to show off in public. Finally, master your tonality. Now, depending on your presentation, it's fine to increase your volume, maybe when you want to make a point, maybe pause at some point, but make sure you're not frightening the audience at any point in time. A good presenter is also an active listener. What do I mean by this? You should try to maintain eye contact and nod to show understanding. Try to share relatable stories. This will help you connect with the audience. Do not make things up. Try to paraphrase to confirm understanding, especially if you are asked questions during the presentation or any clarification. So things like, so you are saying such and such, so that you obtain the consent of the person who has asked the question. Very important. So here are a few speaking tips. Stay calm, pause to organize your thoughts, because calmness always show that you know your elements and you understand the nature of your presentation. Focus on key points, avoid unnecessary details. You don't want to bore the audience. They all came for a message, and your role or your objective as the presenter is to convey the message in the most simple manner as possible. Here are my takeaways on public speaking. Number one, clear and structured communication builds trust and credibility, especially with the audience. Remember, you want to make a connection. Active listening enhances relationships with clients and colleagues. You should not try to impose your point every time. You remember, you are not right every time. Maybe you are, but you have to listen to other people's views as well. You should practice regularly. This could be in front of your friends, family, or even colleagues. Having done this, apply these skills in everyday professional interactions, and you will go a long way. All the best with your public speaking skills, and I will see you in the next one.